throat. Chopping it up with Ramel. Chopping it up with Ramel. Chopping it up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat. Chopping it up with Ramel. Chopping it up with Ramel. Chopping it up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat. Chopping it up with Ramel.
Good morning. Welcome to the latest edition of Chopping It Up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat. College football last night. Championship week began, and you had Washington taking on Colorado, the number 4 team going against the number 8 team, and Washington making a claim for their bid to be one of the Final Four standing. What a performance they put on last night. They come away with the victory 41-10. Oh, they was doing it from both sides of the ball. Interceptions was pick sixes, just interceptions, putting pressure on the quarterback. He threw 3 in the game. The offense did its job. They come away victorious 41-10. With that win there, that puts pressure on Clemson. If they want to remain hopeful in this playoff bid, now they have to win when they take on the 23rd ranked team today, Virginia Tech. What a performance last night by Washington. They sure played like a top 4 team last night. With that win, that kind of puts Michigan playoffs hopes even smaller. I mean, if Clemson loses and Penn State loses, I think Michigan gets in. But now they have to have scenarios to work out in their favor. I mean, really, a highly ranked team like Clemson all year long taking on a Virginia Tech that's been an average team. I don't really see Clemson folding. I think Clemson goes in there and handle their business. But you got to play the games. You got to play the game. I doubt if Alabama loses. So it's one of those scenarios here where if Michigan think they have a playoff chance, it's going to lie on the shoulders of Penn State possibly losing to Wisconsin and Clemson falling to Virginia Tech. So we'll see what happens as the games continue today. I mean, all Sunday afternoon by 4 o'clock, we'll know the whole scenario. But Michigan is still hopeful, but their chances is looking slim. Ohio State is still in the driver's seat, in my estimation, so I think they'll be okay. But Clemson, you got to win now. You know your playoff fate. You win, you in. You lose, you're out. Plain and simple, Clemson. You win, you're in. You lose, you're out. Can't get no simpler than that. To my boxing fans, next week, 2 good fights coming on. One on HBO, one on Showtime. You got a super welterweight, light welterweight, I think it is. Yeah, light welterweight. You got Terrence Crawford defending his belts against John Molina. So that should be good. You know, one thing about the Molina brothers, the Molina guys, they come in there, they come to fight. Terrence Crawford is a good-looking youngster. He's got 2 belts right now in a light welterweight. So look out for that one there. That'll be on HBO. And then you have a heavyweight fight that is on Showtime. And Anthony Joshua, who I happen to like, a kid from England. I think he's the real deal in the heavyweight division. He's taking on Eric Molina for his WBO, I believe it is, that he has. No, IBF. He has the IBF. So that should be interesting. Now, what I want you to do is keep an eye on Anthony Joshua in the future because this is someone that should be fighting Deontay Wilder sometime next year once he gets over his shoulder injury. They should be able to mix it up and make the heavyweight division excited whenever they clash. But I like Anthony Joshua. I think he's the real deal. I think he has a combination of skill, power, and some speed. I think he could be eventually one day the unanimous champion in the heavyweight division and have all 3 belts. So that's next week, Saturday. We'll talk about that later in the week, but this is for my boxing fan. Hey, listen, man. This is Chopping It Up with Ramel, sports show. And you'd be surprised what I talk about, man. And that's one of them. You know, that's one of them. So But now, moving along to the association, hey, you see the hat? I don't have to say anymore. You see the hat, man. Anytime I put the hat on, good things happen. Last night with the Knicks, or the day before, or whatever the case is. Hey, listen, man. I'm not going to be the one that sits up here and tell you that the Knicks is going to win the next championship. No, I'm not going to tell you that. I'm not going to tell you that they're going to knock off this team or that team. I'm just going to give you some opinions and my perspective. Quality win last night. They won the home-and-home series against Minnesota. A young team, man, that got some talent, man, that in any given game, man, they're not going to give up or quit, man. They're going to keep coming at you, man. I give New York a lot of credit. They handled Karl Anthony Towns after that 47-18 performance the other night. They held him to a respectable 20-something points. In the first half, he was pretty much quiet. But, again, a good win for the Knicks as they continue to find their chemistry, continue to gel, find their stride, find their way. Listen, I'll take every little victory. Last year this time, the season was over. The year before this, the season was over. When they were coming out the gate 4-16, 4-17, that's over with. They have a quality team now. It's just a matter of what they do with this team. Brandon Jennings comes off the bench and continue to be a playmaker. 8 assists. Kuz giving us good effort. Herger Gomez giving us good effort. There was a Lance Thomas sighting for 3 minutes. He hit a 3. I'm not a big fan of him, but there was a sighting. Derrick Rose with a big game. Carmelo Anthony. I'm going to talk about him towards the end. Justin Holiday filling in for Courtney Lee at the 2 spot. He had double digits. Porzingis, he had an off night, 2 for 12, but he still managed to have double digits. He had one monster block on Karl Anthony Towns that they eventually called a jump ball, but it was a monster block. The player of the game has to go to Kyle O'Quinn as he put up season highs in minutes, 32 minutes, season high in points with 20 points, and season high in rebounds with 13. Man, the guy was working hard, blocking shots, working hard on both sides of the court, both ends of the court. And then there's Carmelo, who led the team in scoring with 29. But I want to say something about Carmelo, man. I believe in feeding the beast. And that's the person who's got it going. And sometimes who's got it going is not necessarily the person who's scoring. Maybe the person who's just working extremely hard. There was so many times that I was yelling at the TV, especially when Carmelo had the ball, give it to Kyle O'Quinn. Sometimes you just feed the beast, man. Give it to him. Show that you have confidence in him so that he can have confidence. And this kind of performance is not one of admiration, but is one that's of consistency, man. With Noah in and out of the lineup, this guy's going to have to come up big. Feed him the ball, man. You had nothing to lose. At this point, you wasn't making shots, Carmelo. Feed him the ball, man. Yeah, I know you finished with 29, but towards the end of the fourth quarter, yeah, you was coming up short. Feed him the ball. The big fella was working extremely hard, man. Whether it was rebounding, hustle plays, on both ends of the court, feed him the ball, man. You gotta feed the beast, man. You gotta feed the beast. Please, man. The guy was down there just working hard. And he's unselfish, man. He's gonna give it back. He'll give it back. He's not gonna take a shot he can't make. That's for sure, man. He's one of the most disciplined shooters we have on the team. Give him the ball back. Feed the beast. He'll push it back out. He might even make your shot a little easier. And Carmelo, man, I'm one of your biggest fans, and I'm not trying to slap you on the wrist or whatever, man. But you know what? You're playing with 2 point guards that you haven't played with in a very long time, man. In a very long time. I don't even think Andre Miller was this kind of point guard when he was back in Denver. But you're playing with 2 point guards, man, that likes to push the ball, man. Carmelo, you got to run. You got to get up and down the court, man. Listen, I made a comment last night with my family as we was watching the game. I said, yeah, you know what? Carmelo should have been with the Knicks in the 90s with Patrick Ewing, man. We would have won a championship. Because at that time, half court, walk it up, that offense was there. He would have been with Patrick Ewing down there, him on the outside. Oh, it would have been a problem for the league. But in the league today, where the point guards are just pushing, even on missed free throws, pushing it on made baskets, they're just pushing it. Yo, Carmelo, you got to run, man. You got to run, man, because they coming up the court, and if they're gonna look for you as one of the first options, you got to be up there with them, man. If that means for you not to crash the boards and just leak out, then do so you can get a head start. Because otherwise, you got to run, especially when you're at the small forward position, man. Leak out. Don't go for a rebound. If you're at the small forward position, that means Porzingis and a center is in there. You run out because these guys want to run. And we need you up the court. Period, man. You lagging around like sometimes you seem like you're lazy, man. Get up the court, man. Because these guys want to push the ball, man. Please, man. Brandon Jennings, Derrick Rose, you haven't played with point guards like that in a very long time, man. They want to push the ball, man. You got to get up the court. Get up the court. Get up the court, man. In other news around the league, Houston continues their winning ways, man. After that thrilling double overtime victory against Golden State Thursday night, they go into Denver, pick up a win there, man. Listen, the way the league is playing now, and a guy like James Harden, this is perfect for D'Antoni, man. My question is what they're doing in series, but this is perfect for D'Antoni, man. So James Harden and Houston, they continue their winning ways, and I want to talk about Chicago Bulls, man. In Cleveland game. First of all, man, kudos to LeBron James, man, showing up to the Chicago game to the Chicago game. He lost the bet on the World Series to D Wade, man, and what a sport he was, man. He came in there with a Chicago Cubs uniform on. You'd have thought he was going to play baseball the way he looked, man. He had the full ensemble on, man. The uniform, the hat. You know what? I don't know if he had the cleats on, man, but yeah, what a sport he was, man. You like to see that, man. That's good sportsmanship, man. Kudos to him. I know him and D Wade, man, is close friends and good friends, man. Former teammates, man. Their relationship goes beyond the game of basketball, man. So that was good, man. Kudos to him, man. Now back to the game, man. Chicago Bulls is making a case that they might be the second best team in the East, man. Right now, they're not in the second place in the standings, but they're making the case that they're the second best team in the East, man. And you know what? I'm not going to argue nor debate with that, man. When you look at it, man, how many teams has as many rings as Chicago has, man? They got 2 players with 3 and 1. There's 4 rings on there. There's championship experience on there, man. Yeah, sure. You look at a team like Golden State, who's got Cleveland, because they just won. The players have it. But, when you talk about trips to the finals, man, how many people that's actively playing can say that they had those trips to the finals like D Wade? D Wade has 5 trips to the finals. Rondo has 2 trips to the final. They have some experience there. Not to mention there's some talent there, man. And what a game by Taj Gibson last night, man. He was just a monster on the boards last night, man. Kevin Love couldn't stay with him, man. It was just an energy. And here's a guy that put up 20-plus points last night. 20-plus points last night without a play being called to him, man. What a performance that he put on last night, man. Very, very good to see. I tell you that, very good to see. But Cleveland continue their losing ways, man. Three losses in a row. We see them at the Garden on Wednesday. Hopefully that continues, man. We need a win. One thing about Cleveland, they bring out the best in you, and also, man, they how can I say it, man? They bring out the best in you. That's number one, man. But it's a good confidence booster, to gauge where you are in the process when you play a team like them. So, good win for Chicago, man. D Wade and Rondo continues to bring some veteran leadership over there and show these players how to play. Jimmy Butler, man, looking like he's enjoying their success and receiving it well. So kudos to Chicago for their winning ways. And then there's the Atlanta Hawks. How do they get embarrassed at home? 121-85. This is a team that started out at 9-2 and now find themselves at 10-10. And as if the playoffs ended today, they'll be looking at, yeah, this team here is going to have to make a decision in the next couple of weeks. And that decision is going to be, as we approach Christmas, will they be sellers or buyers at the break? Because if this doesn't turn around, Millsap is not likely to return. You might want to consider trying to move him at the trade deadline. Because this here, unless you go out there and be buyers and bring in some immediate relief, this is going to be a long season for Atlanta, man. Right now, I don't think they have the personnel to compete, man. And their confidence level right now is really bad. You know, you take the losing on the road, it's on the road. But then you look who you lost to: Utah, Lakers, Phoenix. But when you come home, you're expecting some home cooking, and you know, you get comfortable. Man, what an ugly performance last night by Atlanta. Detroit comes into the building and just put it on them. There's no excuse for that behavior, man. Atlanta's got to turn it around, or they got to be faced with, are they going to be buyers or sellers at the trade deadline? Hey, this is going to do it for this edition of Chopping It Up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat. Yeah, you know my motto. I'll see you in 24, man. Enjoy your Saturday. Be safe out there. Be blessed. And I'll see you tomorrow. Stay tuned, man. Keep watching. Peace and blessings, man.
Chopping it up.